Hi everyone, my name is Paul Norris and I'm an instructor here at SAIT. Today I'm going to teach you about 3D modeling in SketchUp. So you don't need to see me anymore. I'll turn me off and we'll head on into the interweb. So what we're going to do first is we are going to type in SketchUp free. And the first hit should be this free 3D modeling software. Now I'm already logged in, so I don't get the sign-in page anymore, but you might get the, I'm going to sign out here. You might get the sign-in page, which will look like this. You should get this, and then put in your email address. This is my email address. Then hit next. Put in your password. Should be all good. Now you can sign in. And then once you get to this page, you can start modeling. So we're going to start from scratch. Mine's a bit different because I've got a lot of other models and stuff already, but we are going to hopefully start from scratch here. Just have to wait a moment as Google kind of thinks. Not Google, I guess SketchUp thinks. I might use those terms interchangeably because SketchUp used to be owned by Google, then they sold it to Trimble and a bunch of stuff. When you select a template, please choose feet and meters, or sorry, feet and inches, otherwise it'll be really frustrating. So we're going to create a new one, and we're going to use feet and inches. You can delete this nice lady, just hit her, or don't, select her, and then hit delete. There's a few things we're going to be working on today. Whenever you're in SketchUp, there are these three different directions we will pull. The red direction is in the X orientation, or left to right. Green is depth, it's like in the sort of the Y, I guess. And blue is Z, so it's vertical. So whenever you're pulling in a direction, it'll usually pull up with that color. First thing I want to do is we want to use the rectangle right here. And then I'm going to draw that top rectangle right there. Choose that one. I think it's the default anyway. And I'm going to go and I'm going to snap to the origin. So I'm going to snap here, and then I'm going to pull my cursor off in the direction. See in the bottom right, it says dimensions. That's called the value control box. I'm going to type in 4 feet, 5 feet, and it goes X by Y. Let's see, yeah, it goes X by Y. So it's going to go 4 feet in this direction, and it's going to go 5 feet in the green direction. So it should be 4 feet here. Looks good. 5 feet here. Looks great. So this thing down here is called the value control box. So now I've made a surface which consists of a face, which is this. I can delete it if I want. If I don't want to do it, I just hit Control Z and undo it. And edges. So if I ever get rid of one of these edges, the whole face goes away. So SketchUp is just a series of faces and edges. So if I have enough edges, SketchUp will always create a face. If I ever want to recreate that edge, I can just draw it with a pencil, and it'll recreate that face again. So I can do a few things with these faces and edges, and that's the fun part. So I just drew one rectangle. The next fun part over here is the push and pull. So push and pull, which is right here. And now I can grab this face and I can pull it up. And this is when we get 3 dimension. And I'm going to pull this thing up 3 feet. So again, my value control box says 3 feet. Oops, didn't work. There we go. So now I pulled this thing up 3 feet, which is nice. So I can use my measuring tape measure. 3 feet tall, 4 feet that way, 5 feet that way, 4 feet this way. Got it. Doesn't need to be perfect, but that's a pretty good start. So there's a couple ways I can start to draw my roof. Whenever I'm hovering with my pencil, it'll always pull up something. So this red square means it's just on that edge somewhere. This cyan circle means it's the midpoint. And then this, that green circle means I've gotten the end point. This blue diamond means I'm just on the face somewhere. So I do want that midpoint here. There's a couple ways I can end up drawing this roof. So I'm going to go from midpoint to midpoint, and then I get this line down the middle. I want to use what's called the move command now. The move command is right here. So I'm going to use the move command, and I'm going to grab this line, and I'm going to pull it straight up. And you see how it's got that dashed line there? Well, that dashed line right now is blue. That means I'm pulling it straight up in the Y direction. And if you look at your instructions, I'm going to pull this up 2 feet. That looks good. That's a good looking doghouse right now. Whenever I don't want to select something, I can just go over here and hit the arrow over here just to deselect. I'm going to put a door in this thing. When I want to put a door, I want to put it 1 foot away from this wall and 1 foot away from this wall. So that the tape measure command that we've learned here, the tape measure can measure things like this. It can measure, like we said, like we saw. But also, if you hover on an edge, I can now pull a guide out. So I'm going to pull that out 1 foot and hit enter. And I'm going to pull this guide out 1 foot and hit enter. And then I'm going to pull this one up. I'm going to hover over this edge and pull that one up 2 feet. So right now these are not lines, these are all just guides. So then I can draw a rectangle again. I can now take that rectangle command and I can just snap from guide to guide. So now I've got this sort of face on my doghouse, which I think is pretty cool. And now I can push it in instead of, this is called the push and pull commands. Instead of pulling it up, now I can push it in, and I want to push it in 4 inches, which will kind of make it look like this doghouse is built out of 2x4s. That's pretty cool. That door is a little low architecturally, but we'll stick with it for now. I'm going to get rid of those guides. I don't need them anymore. But now I also want to put a window in the side over here. So what I'm going to do is use my tape measure. I'm going to hover over that edge. I'm going to use 1 foot again. Enter. I'm going to use 1 foot here. And I'm going to hit enter. Again, hover over that lower line, and I'm going to go 2 feet again. And now I also want to go 1 foot from the ground. So I'm going to go 1 foot and enter. Well, now I can build my window over here. I go in and I build that rectangle, push it in 4 inches because that's how deep I want to make it. And then I can use my select tool, the arrow, to get rid of all these guides. That's great. Now I've got a pretty cool looking doghouse. Not bad. And then I can start putting materials on it too. Materials are over here. There they are. There's materials right here. So I'm going to pull up some materials. And the first thing that pops up is what is inside my model, but the next one is a search. So I want to put some brown siding on this thing. So what would it be? Maybe in wood. There's one called siding. Let's do roofing first. Let's pull some asphalt shingles. There's some asphalt shingles here. I like that, and I'm going to plunk those asphalt shingles right onto my model, which look really good. And then I can also do brick cladding and siding. There it is. That's what I want. I want some brown siding to put on here. So now I can side this whole model. I have a nice window there. And then actually what's kind of cool is when you get in there and you can paint those sides there too. And same thing on this window. Make it look like that siding's coming all the way back. And then I also want to put on some glass, some translucent. So that would be under, not window coverings, under glass and mirrors. And I want to use the gray one, this gray right here. I want to use that one. And I'll just go put it on here and put it on here. And the cool thing is that now I can see through that. You can also see how the window starts to work. It just sort of pushes it into this model. And that's what we're going to end up drawing today. Hopefully that helps.